Oh, oh God. I'm sorry. This movie is just so beautiful. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm so sorry, guys. Look, you got to give me a second. You got to give me a second. Oh, God. Past lives. Past lives. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Past Lives starring Greta Lee, T.O.U., John Magaro, and was directed by Celine Song, and our story follows two childhood friends who separate at a very young age. 12 years later, the young male friend decides to reach out and see if he can find his young female friend again, and essentially they reunite. They talk for a while, but realize that the long distance thing isn't really going to work, so that's really kind of putting a niche in their relationship, like that's what's holding it from being as strong as they want it to be, just because they can't see each other, so they decide to separate again. 12 years later, they finally decide to reunite. He decides to come visit her in New York, and that just makes complicated things happen because she's married. She's married to another guy, been married for about, I think it was like 7 years from the film standpoint. Yeah, so it was about 7 years of marriage, and it's just a lot of complicated things going on, but they have Inyan. And Inyan is something that just connects you to someone from your past. It's something that you two share in common, and it's just a very beautiful relationship. And all in all, it really turns out to be something that is a really, really powerful and just beautiful story that you're watching at the end of the day, man. This thing is absolutely incredible. Like I am a big romance fan, and people have just been nonstop talking about how amazing this movie is, how beautiful this movie is, how much this movie is just going to make your heart want to cry and sob. And shout out to the people in the theater who were definitely crying on the way out, because look, don't be shy to let your emotions show. This movie is going to bring it out of you. This movie really dawns on you the entire notion of what if, like us going through our lives and wondering what if we would have made that move, what if we would have, ran after the girl, what if we would have did something that's just, completely different from what we're doing now. How would our lives be if we would have followed through on something that we didn't think was capable of happening that in the past? Like, it's just something that, a lot of us deal with on a day-to-day basis, living in the days or the thoughts of what ifs, and that could really put a stunt on your life and things like that. And this movie is the perfect message. It's the perfect just movie, not only for romance, but of course for, as I'm probably going to repeatedly say throughout this entire review, the notions of what ifs. Because like I said, what ifs are something that a lot of us have, and it's something that a lot of us end up regretting in our lives. We let those what ifs just completely haunt us after a while, and we end up being okay with those and just end up having regrets in life, and that's just something that we definitely don't want to have. But this movie tells this sort of tale in a way that, honestly, you would think that it's going to end pretty chaotically with the fact that there's a love triangle of some sort going on here, but no, the way this thing ends, it ends in a way that can realistically tell you that it realistically tells you that love hurts, and loving, especially in this sort of way, it hurts because someone's always going to get hurt in a love triangle. Like being able to love someone, relentlessly, as far as like being a friend or having a husband and things like that. It's a complicated relationship. And TBH, guys, I'm just gonna go into what I liked and didn't like about the movie, but honestly, there's not a lot I didn't like. There's only one scene, and it's honestly just me nitpicking because I was very annoyed at her answers. But I'll talk about that later. As far as what I liked about the movies, guys, where do I begin? I mean, first of all, I'll begin here because this is one of the most beautifully shot movies I've seen all year. Like, the cinematography in John Wick, the lighting and things like that is absolutely beautiful. The animation in Spider-Man is absolutely mind-blowing. But as far as like actual shots in a film, frames, and just creating artwork from realistic style shots, this movie absolutely kills it. There are so many shots in this film that are speaking volumes without even saying a word. There are so many shots in this film where they would be like kind of guiding them through the park as they're walking and talking and catching up. There are scenes where they would literally just stop and stare at each other, and there's this sort of reconnection happening, but like I said, they're not saying anything with their mouths, but the frames and the art, well, not the artwork, well, pictures are artwork, but the frames and the camera shots shots are speaking volumes to their relationship and them kind of just reuniting. And honestly, beyond that, the performances between the main two characters, Greta Lee and TLU, they absolutely were just immensely ridiculous. Like, they amazed the hell out of me as good as they were in this film. Like, you can feel their chemistry very well. Like, the fact that, you know, them growing up and being so far apart, immediately once they reconnect online and talk to each other through FaceTime, you can feel the connection there. You can feel the connection once they see each other in real life, which is even more painful, because at the end of the day, you know this relationship cannot happen because she is married, and he respects that. He's not being disrespectful in any sort of way. He's not coming in trying to be a homewrecker. He is coming in just trying to reconnect with his friend and love her in the best possible way he can, because he knows he can't love her the way he truly wants to. And honestly, shout out to the guy that plays her husband, the guy that plays Greta Lee's husband. His name was John Magaro. Dude, that dude played an incredibly difficult role. He had a lot to deal with, and I'm really just completely shocked about how much I loved these people's performance in it. Like, all three of them killed it. This dude, John Magaro, plays a role in the movie that is just kind of really hard to watch, because it's like he says in the trailer, if this were a regular or any old movie or any cliched cinematic movie or rom-com, he would be the evil white guy who's keeping them, keeping the two main characters from being in love. That's the role he would play. But here, this dude's an absolute sweetheart. This dude cares for Greta Lee's character immensely. He cares for her friendship. He understands that how important he is to her past. He understands that their connection is something that she can only have with him because let me get my words together. Because her childhood friend is from a part of the country that her husband has never been to. So there's a whole world that her husband has never been connected to that she only has a connection with through him. Like, it's a lot of complicated yet makes a lot of sense, with this whole situation going on. And honestly, everybody just plays their role so well. Like I said, the movie is absolutely beautiful to look at. The cinematography is gorgeous. There's so many beautiful shots. This movie, throughout the entirety of it, has so many just romantic and gorgeous shots to look at. And it's honestly something that's just going to tug on your heart the entire time. I absolutely adored the score to this movie. I don't know what it is with the scores of movies absolutely killing it nowadays, but they are absolutely stepping their game up, because the score in this movie was lovely. I'm actually surprised. Well, not surprised. I was actually shocked to learn that the director's name was Celine Song, because this movie plays out like a song. It's an entire vibe. It's a harmonic, little melodic, just toned movie, and you can feel the vibes. You absolutely empathize with the vibes. You can resonate with what's going on screen. I mean, this is a movie that can talk to just about everybody when it comes to what ifs. This movie is absolutely beautiful. I adored every second of this movie, except for the one part I was going to tell you guys about. I'm going to tell you about that now. There's just one scene where her and her husband are kind of discussing the relationship between her and her childhood friend, and the answer she's giving is kind of just annoying the hell out of me. Like I said, I was nitpicking, but it did annoy me just because it's like, what your husband is asking, what what you guys are essentially getting into by, allowing your childhood friend back into your life, and your husband's there, blah, blah, blah. And she was just giving a lot of half-ass answers, acting like she was being so nonchalant. You know exactly what was going on. But like I said, that was just me nitpicking. I didn't knock the movie too much for that, but look, overall, guys, if you are into romance stories, this is going to be one for the ages. This is a movie that'll speak to you, like I said, a lot of us, because of the what-if notion. And this is a movie where, honestly, if you're into just watching beautiful stories be told, this is probably one of the most beautiful stories that will be told all year, as far as I'm concerned. And for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Past Lives a 4.75 out of 5 stars. All right. So, Past Lives, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Be sure to comment below your thoughts on the movie. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more, guys. Look, I really do appreciate it. This is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.